Hey guys, today is a very important day. It's another very long day for me personally, but we're going to get through it. I've had far too much caffeine, I'm already twitching. The important thing today is the Hulton Park planning application that's going in. So myself, I've got my colleague here, Mr. Councillor Toby Hewitt, and we're going to be with our other Conservative colleagues speaking against this application. So I'm in early, got to get the last changes to my speech, which I've already written and rewritten so many times, but I want to make sure it's as good as it can be, so you always take that extra opportunity. Now we're going to present that at planning, which you're going to see now. Hulton Park is a Grade 2 listed registered park and also a garden of special historic interest. The park is described by the Gardens Trust as quite exceptional and a rarity in Greater Manchester. Building on this site will, in their view, result in a total loss of the designated heritage asset, and I absolutely agree. Hulton Park contains sites of biological importance, and as we'll see from paragraph 514 of the officer's report, the developer acknowledges that the proposal will result in harm to some areas of the park. The applicant's Biodiversity Impact Assessment report states that the development will see a gross biodiversity loss of 57.7% of the affected site in Phase 1 and 100% gross biodiversity loss in Phase 2. Admittedly, they do plan to attempt to mitigate this somewhat, but at the end result, we'll still see a shocking level of destruction of the existing biodiversity of the site. The proposal is an appalling attack on this beautiful park, a park that has deteriorated due to poor upkeep, which our officers have already stated in their report cannot be used as a reason to benefit the applicant. Paragraph 305 of the officer's report suggests the site was still excellently preserved at the time of the landscape character appraisal in 2001. So if it's now regarded as so badly degraded that the only thing to do with it is to build houses and a golf course on top, then that's a stunning amount of degradation to happen in very little time. Hulton Park is home to a variety of protected species and species of significant interest: great-crested newts, a number of bats, numerous species of bird, including reports of cuckoos, grey partridges, golden plovers, hobbybirds and lapwings, plus ancient and historic trees and protected flora such as bluebells. Now, as you'll be aware, bluebells are an amber list near threatened species, and I do not believe the proposed storage methods to supposedly protect them during building work will be successful in any way. Now, the officer's report also states that lapwings are a priority species and not protected, although they are on the Isle of Man. And this is true, but the report is silent on the fact that hobbybirds are a protected species in England. Furthermore, it's worth remembering that the RSPB states that lapwing declines in the west of the UK are leading to local extinctions. I therefore wonder how many more developments such as the one proposed here will there need to be before lapwing protection extends to England. Historic England regard Hulton Park as a site providing a unique ecological habitat. This proposed development, and especially the monumentally inappropriate residential areas, will destroy that habitat. The assessment of the economic impact on the proposed golf resort is best regarded as optimistic. The committee will no doubt recall Bolton Open Golf Course in Harwood and how that has fared over the years, as well as the numerous and long-standing problems that have been caused by its failure. Golf in the northwest is on the decline, and as a result, I do not believe it is appropriate to place quite the level of weight behind these assessments as has been given so far. Hosting the Ryder Cup will provide a short-term economic boost, as all major events do, but the residual economic impact is likely to be far less than has been quoted. Using the golf resort to potentially host future tournaments sets nothing in stone, and therefore I must verge on the side of applying less weight to the potential economic benefits of this development than our officers have. The residential development is apparently to offset the costs of the golf course, but the developer's own assessment states that the proposals are looking at deficits in the millions. The figures do not add up unless we acknowledge that this is all something of a gamble on property values rocketing. I'm not of a view to take such a bet, and I don't believe the committee should be either. The officer's report makes reference to the potential prehistoric and Roman remains on the site. Now, prehistoric sites are exceptionally rare in the northwest due to the effects of the Ice Age during that time. So if the developer has discovered the Neolithic West Hulton site, then the archaeological importance of this discovery should outweigh all other matters, because this is a discovery of national importance. I want to talk briefly, before I go to my conclusion, about the late list as we've got here, because unfortunately, from my reading of it, it looks like it doesn't quite give the guarantees that we were hoping for. If we look at Part A in the highlighted piece here, it says, if the golf course is not selected as the venue to host the Ryder Cup golf tournament in 2026, the owner shall immediately cease the site preparation works and any further works that have been or are being carried out pursuant to the planning permission to then restore the site or the relevant part of it to its previous condition so far as is reasonably practical. Now, I was under the impression that we were seeking protection so that if they didn't get the Ryder Cup, nothing would happen to the site. My reading of this allows the site to be worked on before the Ryder Cup assessment has been given. So I would hope that something can be done to achieve the protections that I believe we were all seeking, to make sure that nothing happens to the park unless they get the Ryder Cup. That's just a final point to come off today's late list. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, this is a unique ecological habitat that's home to sites of biological importance. The economic benefits to the region are the only weighing factor in the application's favour, and too great an emphasis has been placed on those potential benefits. So in that assessment, I do not believe very special circumstances have been established, and the application must be rejected. Well, everyone, it's a crushing disappointment. I am really upset with the result that we got today. 8 in favour of the application, 7 against it. We were so close I could practically touch it, but it wasn't meant to be. But it doesn't mean that's the end, because, as I said in my speech, the chances of this Ryder Cup thing going forward are negligible. I don't believe it'll happen. So they may have got some permission, but they've still got a long way to go. So hopefully we have seen the end of this despite their victory. I'm hoping it's going to turn out to be a hollow victory. We can but hope. But I don't want to get your hopes up too much, because they could, at this point, get the Ryder Cup. It's a possibility. I don't think it'll ever happen, but it is a possibility. So I'm not going to say we've still won. There are things that could still change it. But we've got to stay positive, despite the setback. Good night.